This painting is The Procession to Calvary by Peter Bruegel. This painting currently hangs in a museum in Vienna, Italy. It is an oil-on-oak painting depicting the point in the Passion where Jesus has collapsed under the weight of the cross. This event has taken place in the exact center of the painting, indicating its importance within the piece as a whole. The image is, overall, scattered, chaotic, and full of depth, as hinted by the presence of the crows in the image. The space inhabited by the figures in this painting is a gradual slope contouring uphill and around a large rock formation, creating a semicircular mass of people leading from the bottom of the hill to the side of the crucifixion. There is a lot happening in this image, and without focusing on specific sub-narratives, interpreting the events of the painting are very difficult. The narratives are as follows. First, Jesus has, as is outlined in literature regarding the Passion of Jesus, fallen under the weight of the cross. Jesus is being accompanied by soldiers in red garments. Instead of Roman soldiers, however, these soldiers appear to be contemporary Spanish soldiers. Second, the painting shows the hill on which Jesus was crucified. This hill was outside of Jerusalem. The crosses of the two men Jesus was crucified with are already standing, and Jesus' cross is in the process of being put up. There is already a large crowd of people surrounding the side of the crucifixion. Third, there are four figures: Mary, John, and two other women, who are shown closer to the viewer and far larger than the other figures below. These figures are also far more stationary than the rest of the figures in the image. John will remain with Mary for most of the Passion, and Jesus, near the time of his death, entrusts Mary to John, hoping that he will take care of Mary as his own mother. It is interesting to note that only these four figures are wearing clothes that would have been worn at the time of Jesus' life, while the rest of the figures in the painting are wearing contemporary clothes. Fourth, the sky is very dark, indicating that there may be a storm approaching. Biblical descriptions of Jesus' death mention that at the time he died, strong storms broke out on the hill where he was crucified. The storm in this image gives the viewer an insight that those present in the image don't have a forewarning of what will happen when Jesus is killed. Between the viewer and the storm, gallows can be seen with remnants of the executed that had not yet been eaten by birds remaining. There is also a newer interpretation of this painting based on an event that occurred after the image was painted. This event is the Dutch Revolt. While the Dutch Revolt began only a year before Bruegel died and 5 years after he painted this image, so some speculate that he was sending a message about the direction in which the conflict was heading. Those who believe in this interpretation relate the soldiers in red to Spanish soldiers, whom the members of the revolution fought against. This interpretation helps to explain the figure in the cart near Jesus who is holding a crucifix. Originally thought to be one of the thieves Jesus would be crucified alongside of, this figure can be explained as a member of the revolt. This interpretation is also supported by the gallows on the hillside, as there is no reference to other mass executions taking place at the time of Jesus' death. The figures in this image are all portrayed in contemporary dress, although the scene in which we find them took place roughly 1,500 years earlier. The town in the background of the painting is also portrayed as a typical Renaissance town. Putting historical events into contemporary settings was common with this type of art, and it begs the question to viewers at the time of the Renaissance: what would I have done if I were there? History often repeats itself, and cultures often look to historical events and claim that they will not allow such things to happen again, only to turn away when these events do happen again. I think this can serve as a good reminder that it is always important to keep the lessons of the past in the back of one's mind.